Yes, my dear students, now we are going to start a new topic, probability. We use this word in our daily life. We say that probably today will be a hot day. It may rain tomorrow, or there is a chance of her getting first in the class. So these all are possibilities, not sure. Probability means possibilities. So means all these statements involves certain uncertainty, not confirmed, that is uncertainty. And in mathematics we call this uncertainty as probability. So before starting probability, first we learn some terms related to probability. So first one is the experiments. Experiments you even study in science as well. Experiments means any activity that we perform which have definite means defined result is called an experiment. Even we throw a coin. Throwing a coin is just an experiment. Means any activity that we perform is called, which have defined result, is called an experiment. Okay? Or trial. You have listened this word in your daily life, trial. Take a trial of this. Means if an experiment is performed once, it is called a trial. When we perform any experiment for trial basis, that is called the trial. Okay? And next one is the random experiment. So what do you mean by random experiment? The experiment in which all the possible outcomes, we know all the possible outcomes, but cannot predict the exact result of any trial. We know when we throw a coin, throwing a coin is an experiment. We know the outcomes of this, either tail come or head maybe come, but we can't sure that which one is come, either head or tail. So it is a random experiment. The experiment in which we know all the possible outcomes but cannot predict the exact result, means exact result of any trial, is called a random experiment. When you play Ludo, you throw dice. Okay? When you throw a dice, there are 6 number on dice. So throwing a dice or playing in Ludo is a random experiment. But you know the possible outcomes. That is either 1 will come, 2 will come, 3 will come, 4 or 4, 5 or 6. These are the possible outcomes. You know all the possible outcomes, but you don't know the result of outcome. Maybe 1 come, maybe 2 come, maybe 3 come, any number may come. So that is the random experiment. Is that clear? And next one is event. What is an event? If we toss a coin, the possible outcomes are head or tail. Either head will come or tail will come. So these possible outcomes of a trials are called events. Means head and tails are the events. That are called the events. And similarly in throwing a dice, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are the events. And sure events. Sure. Something that you are sure about that thing. That is called sure event. Means sure events, if a dice is thrown, you know there are only 6 possible outcomes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So these are called the events. These are the possible outcomes. But we know that if we throw a dice, the outcome will be a number less than 7. In dice the number are up to 6. So the outcomes will be a number less than 7 and such it is a sure event. If the occurrence of any event is certain, means fixed, that is called a sure event. We know that in dice only number up to number 6 can be come. So this is a sure event. Impossible events. What do you mean by that thing that is not possible? Means when you throw a dice, a number more than 6 cannot become. When you throw a dice, obtaining a 7 on throwing a dice is an impossible event. That is impossible. When you throw a dice, either 1 come, 2 come, 3, 4, 5, 6, but 7 will never come. So it is a impossible event. Is that clear? And last one is the sample space. Sample space means collection of all possible outcomes of an experiment is called sample space. Like when you throw a dice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are all sample space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when you throw a coin, you get either head or tail. So H and T are its sample space. So sample space is collection of all possible outcomes of an experiment is called sample space. Clear?